Game unplayable again. Game freezes or crashes down on Xbox after every operation end, just a waste of time. Again, there were never such issues before patch 7. Now, this is definitely unfortunate to see. And just to be clear, now this is for Xbox, and I have heard about these issues for Xbox basically from the past couple weeks. This is definitely a new post, and I have seen these posts kind of pop up here and there. And I have had a crash on PC about a week ago, and it definitely was a bummer because it was one of those crashes where you hit the black screen like right at the end of the operation, and yeah, that felt really bad. That felt really bad. The game basically just disconnects, and once you reconnect, it just sends you to the battle barge. You don't get the game completion screens and the stats and the experience. It was definitely very disappointing. And if I recall, I believe I had like yellow level ping. But the weird thing is I didn't see any notice of like connection issues throughout the operation. Like it was pretty much smooth. It really only crashed at the end. And then like the game was still up. You know what I mean? Like on PC, it was still open. So yeah, definitely a puzzling concern, and obviously we're getting close to a new patch, so I feel like this is a perfect time to kind of review some connection issues. I have seen a connection issue in the past week, so it's actually kind of nice that I can actually kind of link up this time with the connection issues, because I understand how much time, first of all, the operations take, and I understand how much of a bummer it is seeing a black screen at the end of the operation. So yeah, let's take a look at some of these posts. Now, this is an Xbox post, but again, I was on PC. I was using my laptop, and I do believe it's a NVIDIA GeForce RTX and an Intel. So just wanted to check that real quick for you guys, just in case. But yeah, I've also crashed. I also crashed with AMD as well. But my actual desktop is getting to be pretty outdated, so I'm not surprised about that one. But yeah, let's go into some of these crashes. Let's go into some of these crash feedback to see what people are actually experiencing. And if this is something that is popping up for multiple people or from you guys in the comments, please let me know. But yeah, we will be reading everyone's experience with crashes recently. I'm tired, boss. So I just played through the Trigon operation only on Substantial. The two dudes I was playing with did absolutely nothing the whole mission, okay? Kept going down and dying. After the brain section, one of them even got disconnected and caused a host migration, and we had to redo that whole section. The same guy joined back. We struggled to the boss. The boss was a horrible struggle itself. We beat him, and what do I get? The game freezes before the victory screen, and I get 0 levels, weapon XP, or armory data from it. All that effort for nothing. Definitely unfortunate. I feel like it is kind of funny that they kind of mentioned that they were struggling with this operation, and then that just to make it even worse, they get a disconnection. Yeah, I kind of understand why you're tired on that one. I love this game. I've been relentlessly playing it for nearly 3 months straight, but these freezes are happening more and more. It's a struggle to make any progress now. I'm on Xbox Series S. If anyone knows a fix, please let me know. Sorry for the rant, just had to vent. So I'm not very knowledgeable about Xbox. So Xbox Series S, is this like the PS5 Pro of Xbox? If so, that's disappointing. I've never crashed or seen a black screen for the PS5 Pro. I probably crashed once, but sometimes that could be on my end as far as connection goes. But it really, really depends. The same guy joined back. We struggle. It is kind of funny how they were kind of sneak dissing their teammates here. But ultimately, yeah, Substantial Trigon Prime, I can understand where things can get a little spicy there. Biovores, Spore Mines, whatever. They're playing on patch 7, so yeah, Spore Mines are still going to do max damage. Patch 8, they will be nerfed. But okay, so this is somebody on Xbox, so we saw 2 posts on Xbox. I definitely want to see somebody confirm connection issues on a different system. I would also like to see if somebody, crashed on PC before. But I don't want to point the finger at the system here. And ultimately, the devs themselves, obviously admitted they could work on some connection issues, and that's also what they were focusing on. But like there's just too many times where I've seen issues with Xbox from games that I covered in the past. Like I remember Xbox also had weird connection issues with Elden Ring. Well, to be honest, on Elden Ring launch when it basically in the world of co-op, yeah, those connection issues were pretty bad. So. But yeah, I guess Xbox sometimes just gets bad luck with some of these connection issues, which is unfortunate. And the way some of these posts are kind of detailing out that they crash every time, I have a hard time to believe that there's not something Xbox or the devs can do something about that. If it's really that recreatable, it should also be easy to fix. It's normally harder to fix stuff that kind of like pops up here and there because you don't really know what's going on. But if you can recreate it and it's like, I don't know, for whatever reason, an Xbox problem, hopefully there's something that can be done about it. But yeah, again, I'm not very well versed in Xbox, and so far my PS5 has actually been running, well, my PS5 Pro has been running the game a little bit more smooth than my PC. But on my laptop, I do lock it at 60 frames. And I just want to make sure that it runs fine. And again, I crashed once. Maybe I crashed twice, but it is kind of weird that I crashed more on my laptop and PC than the PS5 Pro. So I guess this could be, system related, which I hope it's not. But yeah, let's go into the comments and see if we can, basically find any, experience or feedback with this issue. On PS5 Pro, and I had an issue twice this weekend where the game just freezes regardless of the location and the operation. Pretty frustrating. Okay, that's not good. that's not good. I will admit, though, with PS5 Pro, at least I play it more, so I can kind of understand where the connection issues come from. And by come from, I mean I have like a guess. I have a guess. With the PS5 Pro, it can seriously start to spaz out if it drops a connection from the Wi-Fi, because sometimes on the Pro, it will like fail a connection, but you can't really, the menus can freeze up and stuff. So if the PS5 Pro kind of like either drops a connection or it's struggling to find a connection, or regardless, the way I fix that is to just restart the system and it works out fine. But for whatever reason, when the PS5 Pro drops a connection, it kind of freaks out and like just legit freezes. I don't know. It doesn't like. The thing is, like, you can still like navigate the menu, but to actually, get anything to register, it freezes. So yeah, that could definitely be an issue. But overall, that's more of like a connection side of things for the PS5 Pro, and not really the game side of things. And he said, I've had issues twice this weekend where the game just freezes regardless of location in the operation. Pretty frustrating. I mean, it'd be interesting if it crashed, but the fact that it freezed definitely makes me think it's like a connection issue, 100%. Yeah, that's unfortunate, but this is actually one of the first times I've read a comment of somebody mentioning the PS5 Pro freezing, so that's a pretty good indicator that these issues are likely more widespread than originally suggested, or when we talked about connection issues on patch 7 launch. That was... Everyone was experiencing that, so this could potentially be, maybe, I'm not too sure how connection issues can just get worse all of a sudden when we've already had a patch, you know what I mean? So maybe there's some other, maybe there's some background patch going on, hot fixes or something that are kind of, being a little bit stuttery. I'm not sure. What I mean by stuttery is like it's not finished. It's basically what I'm saying. Like they're just kind of working on stuff. But yeah, interesting. PS5 Pro. Sheesh, that's unfortunate. That is unfortunate. This is a big issue on the Series S and PS5. Some tips for Series S: don't use quick resume. Always quick to title screen and then quit game when getting off. Clear your cache by going into the settings, devices, Blu-ray, clear persistent storage. I think he's trying to say always quit to the title screen and then quit game when getting off. But yeah, I just read that as is, I guess. But okay, this is at least something. Somebody here is also struggling with the same issues and probably found a workaround. I just don't understand what this could accomplish. I mean, at least clearing the cache I can kind of get, but Again, I'm not a well-versed Xbox guy, so maybe somebody in the comments can kind of clarify why this could help circumvent some of these connection issues, but it's kind of hard to, imagine that really just fixing everything. At least from some of the reports I'm seeing, it seems like people are just crashing. So I don't know. This is definitely at least something, though. Does anyone get single red bar connectivity almost every single game still? Now, this is what we were seeing at patch 7. When patch 7 released, this is what was happening. We would get red bar connectivity, and if you were to join a game or start a game, you could not see somebody else in the game. It was kind of rough. But yeah, hopefully we don't see anything like this. And just to clarify some of these connection issues, it does seem a little sporadic. However, we are noticing a pattern with, black screens and such at the end of the operations. Again, for the most part, my games have been running fine. In the past week, I had one crash, and then pretty much since then, or at least before then, it's been a while for a crash. But I do have a PC that can crash this game pretty often, but it has like 14 gigs of RAM for whatever reason. I don't know. It's a very dated PC. But I also have another system that is obviously more updated, and that's also where I seen my first crash in a while. So it seems to be very sporadic, at least on my end of things. Some people here are talking about console crashes, and I just haven't seen console crashes really. In fact, I was playing PS5 Pro last night, and it ran smoothly. It was very good. I am really impressed with how the PS5 Pro can play Space Marine 2, 100%. But yeah, okay, let's continue. I do an execute, and I'll just sit there frozen for 30 seconds before I can do anything again. Then I'll just get lagged out. Okay, so like that's a disconnection. Yeah, that's unfortunate. That is unfortunate. The weirdest thing for connection issues for me, which also was on my laptop actually, now that I think about it, and I mentioned this in another video, but it was like a month ago when this happened. Basically what happened was we crashed. Well, kind of. We dropped connection in the middle of an operation. It was in, the Trigon Prime operation. It was in exfiltration, and we were at the point with the melter grenades, and it crashed. And then, for whatever reason, we got back into the lobby, same players, and we basically got teleported to where the weapon loadout pods are. So it's kind of interesting because it kind of like sent us back to like a checkpoint, which I found very interesting, because I feel like maybe there's some way you could like drop a connection and like join back a game, but it like puts you at a checkpoint. That would be nice. But it also kind of, if you're capable of doing that, I think nowadays you just join the game like directly back where you were and stuff. But yeah, regardless, this is something that we're going to have to, see how everyone is doing with connection issues. Let me know in the comments if you guys have any connection issues. And I will admit, I will admit, it's getting pretty hot around where I live right now. So I wouldn't be surprised if for whatever reason there are connection issues in that sense. I really hope not. And if that's the case, we will see. We will see. But yeah, I'm just mentioning it's hot just because it's pretty hot out here. So I don't know. I don't think that even plays a part in connection, to be completely honest. So who knows? Who knows? But yeah, as far as my experience right now is, I disconnected once in the past week. It was a black screen at the end of Ballistic Engine, and it's hot. So I am sweating right now. But yeah, regardless, I'm super excited for Siege mode. Hopefully the heat wave should pass for that, so I'm definitely very excited for that. But yeah, overall, if you're experiencing connection issues, let me know in the comments. Let me know exactly what is going on. It's always nice to kind of gather information on this, so other people can look through the comments and compare and contrast and see if anyone can figure out anything. Again, if you're also struggling on Xbox, let me know even more, because to be completely honest, most of the connection issues I've seen has been from Xbox for whatever reason, which is unfortunate. But yeah, also to be clear, today I've seen like a handful of people talking about PS5 as well, and then we had one report from PS5 Pro, which is also pretty interesting. So anyway, this is just a chance to kind of compare and contrast some connection issues, especially before a patch. This is very important. And of course, the devs also highlighted this is something they were working on. So hey, hopefully you guys have not ran into any connection issues, and hopefully patch 8 comes out very smooth. I think honestly we're due for just like a 9 out of 10 patch. Sometimes the patches are like close, but then there's like one issue that can kind of hold it back a little bit. But yeah, it's Siege mode. I'm super excited for it. I'm ready for it. And yeah, again, let me know in the comments how you guys feel about this. And thanks for watching.